Hey, welcome back to How to Barbecue Right. I'm Malcolm Reed. We got the Super Bowl coming up this weekend, and I'm going to show you how to make a super sandwich. My buddy Meathead over at AmazingRibs.com has a recipe for the world's best Chicago Italian beef sandwich. And I'm going to put my little twist on it. We're going to create that recipe right here today at How to Barbecue Right. Let's get to cooking. And for this Italian beef recipe, Meathead recommends using top sirloin, top round, or bottom round in that order. Today, I went with top sirloin. I called up my buddy Kevin down at the butcher shop in Pensacola, told him what I was doing. He said he had the perfect piece of sirloin for me. Sent it up here, took it out of the cryovac, and that's all I've done. I just took paper towels, kind of dried any moisture off of it. Now I'm gonna trim away any of this excess fat. It's got a little, but it doesn't have a whole lot. Create us a place where we got some more room for bark. Give us some more surface area. You don't have to get super aggressive with these. As you can see, this meat that Kevin sent me, highly marbled, so I know that it's gonna have a ton of flavor in it. Flip it over, check out the bottom. We've got a little bit of sinew on here, a little bit of fat. I'm gonna take some of that off. But really, that's gonna give us some flavor, so I don't have to worry about just getting every bit of it. Maybe a little here on this edge. Hey, that's good enough for me. I didn't lose much on this sirloin. So the recipe for the rub on this is really easy. It's black pepper, some garlic powder, some onion powder, a little oregano, basil, crushed red pepper, and that's about it. I went ahead and added some more salt to it. That's just kind of my take on it. I thought a big roast like this needs some salt, but you could really take the recipe and make it your own on the seasonings. The first thing I'm gonna do is give it a light spritz of water. Now the recipe says this is gonna help that herb mixture really stick to the outside. Now we're just gonna season. This looks good to me. I'm just gonna lightly pack that in. The water's gonna help it stick. We missed a little right there, that looks good. Kind of get it down on the edges. And we're gonna flip it over and do this top side the same way. Just a little bit of water to help it stick. Come back with our seasoning over the top. Now don't throw the rest of your seasoning away. I'm gonna add that to our juice that we're gonna make. So the seasoning looks good on the outside. You can see the herbs, you can see the red pepper, the black pepper, the salt we added. I want this to hang out, start working on the meat a little bit, get some of those flavors going down into it. Perfect time to fire that grill up. For this Italian beef recipe, I'm firing up my big green egg today. I've got a kick ash basket in the bottom. I'm putting royal oak lump charcoal in there to get it started. Got a couple tumbleweeds going for the fire, and it's gonna get those coals good and hot. When they're ready, I'm gonna drop in a few chunks of hickory smoker wood to give that beef some flavor. Then I'm gonna put my heat diverter in place with the grate right on top. We'll close the lid. That's gonna let that smoker come up. Keep the vents 100% open right now, but as it comes up towards 325, we're gonna dial those back and lock it in right there at 325 the whole time. It's gonna be the perfect temp to cook this Italian style beef. All right, I got the big green egg sitting right on 325. That's right where I want it for this cook. You can cook it on any kind of grill you want. I'm just using the green egg today for this good indirect heat. First thing we're doing, we've got a 9x13 baking pan going down. We've got 6 cups of hot water going in the bottom of it. This is gonna be the foundation for that juice Italian sandwiches are really known for. Gotta have that beef gravy, right? Then we've got some bouillon cubes. That's gonna give us that beefy flavor. And we saved a little bit of our seasoning. I'm just gonna season this water with it. Keep those Italian beef flavors going. I'm not gonna use all of it. I'm gonna save some of it for when it gets done in case I wanna adjust it. So I've got the water in there, the beef bouillon, the seasoning. Now I'm gonna close the lid for just a few minutes. Let this beef bouillon have some time to go ahead and melt. All right, our liquid's ready. I'm just gonna put a cooling rack right over this pan. That's gonna hold this beef while it cooks, and it's gonna let those drippings fall down in there, flavor that liquid we've got going on. It's gonna reduce down, be packed with flavor. We're just gonna move this roast right over dead center. And this 9x13 pan is just the right size for this roast. It holds the 6 cups of liquid, cooling rack fits right over it. Now before I close the lid, I'm just gonna put a probe thermometer right into about the middle of the roast, halfway down. It's the most important part. We wanna watch the internal temperature. I wanna cook it to about 130, no more. I've set my dot at 125. That way I can start watching it. Take it off about 128, it'll carry over a little bit. That's exactly what we're looking for on the first part of this cook. Now we're just gonna let the big green egg do its thing. The beef's gonna sit in that hickory smoke, all those flavors working on it, making that juice really good underneath it. Just keep an eye on it. It's gonna take about 2 hours. All right, our dot, 127. I started watching it as 125. I've just let it creep over just a few degrees. I want to stop it before it gets 130, so I'm going to go ahead and call first stage in the Chicago Italian beef done. And I haven't opened this cooker at all. You can see we still got plenty of moisture down in the pan. Some of it's reduced down a little, but there's still plenty of good gravy down in there. The beef juices drip down in it. I'm going to take my probe out of the roast, and I'm just going to move over to this little pan. You can see the herbs on the top, the crust is set on it. Now it's ready for its rest. We're going to get the juice off the pit too. We're gonna pour it up, but just take a look at that. See that goodness that's dripped down in there? That's gonna be flavor for this Chicago Italian beef sandwich. I'm just gonna catch all this juice in this bowl, wash it around, get all this goodness out of the bottom. I don't wanna miss any of that. Pour it up fast. We'll taste that when we rewarm it, see if we need to adjust it or anything, but it looks good. It's condensed down. I know it's gonna have a lot of flavor. Now this roast smells amazing. I mean, the steam coming off of it, it's got a smokiness to it, but you still get all the herbs. You can see those peppers on the outside. The easy part's done. That was taking it up to 130 degrees. Now we got the hard part, and that's the rest. That's where I can't do nothing. I'm just gonna take it inside, put some foil over the pan, some foil over the juice, stick it in the refrigerator and forget about it for 3 hours minimum. You could go overnight if you want to, do this the next day. Then we're gonna take it out and I'm gonna slice it up and show you how we're gonna finish this Chicago Italian beef. So after this top sirloin has cooled in the refrigerator, I took it out and uncovered it, set it right here on the board. Now you need at least 3 hours to let it properly cool. I went ahead and went overnight with it. I wanted it good and cold so I can slice it really thin. Now if you have a meat slicer, that's great. You can get perfect slices. But today I'm just gonna cut it with a real thin bladed knife and I'm gonna get it as thin as I can because we're gonna drop it back down in this hot juice that we made yesterday as well. Now I set that in the refrigerator overnight. If there was any fat, I just kind of scooped it off the top and then I put it in my crock pot. The crock pot's set on low, and that's gonna keep that juice nice and hot. I mean, check it out. You can see it's steaming. Now, if you wanna adjust the flavor, that was the perfect time to do it when you put it in here. I tasted it, and it tasted fantastic. But if you wanna add a little more seasoning, you can keep a little of that seasoning and just re-doctor it up, and it'll be good to go. But you want it piping hot, because that's what's really gonna finish off this Chicago Italian beef. So let me show you how we're gonna slice this. You wanna take your thin knife, and you don't really wanna cut deep at all. You're just kinda letting the knife work. We're just kind of shaving it almost. And you can see I'm just going thin. I'm gonna go as thin as possible. And man, we got a great cook on that. You can see it's still really medium rare. That's beautiful roast beef. Now, this cut's got a ton of marbling in it. I got that down from Kevin, so you know it's gonna be some good beef. But I'm just gonna slice it up super thin. I'm not really pressing, just let the knife do its work. And I'm just gonna go all the way through this roast and get it cut as thin as possible with a knife. But you know what? Before I keep going, I'm gonna have to try a bite cold. You know it's gonna be good. It's just like roast beef. And it's making a ton of beef. I mean, this you know, it's like a 3-pound roast, maybe a little more. I didn't weigh it. Feed a lot of people. I know it's gonna be good for Super Bowl. We're getting down to it now. That's where you gotta watch your fingers. Don't press too hard. Just let the knife glide through it. And that's the beef sliced up. I mean, check that out. I tried to cut it as thin as I possibly could with a thin bladed knife, and that's what you want. It's ready for that hot beef juice now. So the traditional sandwich, it gets the beef in the hot juice, extra juice on the bread, some fried green pepper strips, and some giardiniera topping it off. The peppers, I just threw a cast iron skillet right back on the green egg. Little olive oil, seasoned them with some AP seasoning, and we just sauteed them in that olive oil, kind of fried them right there on the grill. So let me show you how we're gonna build this Chicago Italian beef sandwich. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get some of our beef. We're gonna give it a quick bath off in our beef juice here. It's hot, it's simmering away. It needs to sit in there for about a minute according to the recipe. That's gonna give us time to get our rolls ready. And I've got some fresh French rolls. These are about 8 inches, something like that. Take a serrated knife. We're gonna open these rolls up. You don't have to cut them all the way through, just hinge it. Open that up. We'll mash that bread down. It's got a good crust on the outside. It's soft and pillowy on the inside. This is where we're gonna put our meat, all the goodness in there. We'll just set that right here for a second. On the bread, we're gonna go ahead and give it some of that juice. Get the flavors working. Then we're gonna get our beef out of that hot liquid, steaming. You can see it's cooked it all the way through now. You don't wanna leave it in there too long. It'll get well done. We want it warmed up, cooking it a little more, just like that. Pile it up. Did I leave anything? Oh yeah. So here's always one last one trying to swim around. That looks right. Now, we're gonna get some green pepper, a few strips. We're gonna top that with some of this pickled, it's kind of pickled Italian vegetables. There's carrots, cauliflower, celery, pearl onions, pepperoncini peppers. That's kind of the traditional Italian giardiniera. And you can make this, Meathead has a great recipe for it on AmazingRibs.com, or you can just buy the kind in the jar, whatever you want. Last but not least, we're gonna ladle on a little bit more of this juice right over the top, finish it off. That's our traditional Italian beef. Now, if you're gonna go full tilt, we can dip it. And before I try it, I'm going to, but I wanna show you the combo. Now what a combo is, they take sweet Italian peppers and they put that on the sandwich along with the beef. The sweet Italian sausage just went right on the grill for about 15 minutes. We just grilled it on both sides until it hit 165 and it's ready to go. You can just throw them right in that pan with those peppers. We gotta get our meat in the gravy. So let me get a few slices of it here. Going right in. And it's gotta hang out for a minute. And this is kind of my spin on it. I'm gonna add some provolone cheese to mine. I've got some sliced provolone. That's going down first. Then we're gonna come with one of these Italian sausages, sweet Italian, right in the bun. Now our beef's ready. We're coming right on top. That's gonna help that provolone melt. Pile it up high, juice running. That's perfect. Now, we've got to add our peppers to it. Oh, where do you think you're going, pepper? You're getting it. We're gonna give it some more giardiniera. At least that's how I say it. And we're gonna go one more ladle of the juice all over the top, get the bread. And that's what we call a combo. That's a beautiful sandwich right there. So we've got the traditional Chicago Italian beef right here. The giardiniera, the peppers, the hot beef, the juice. Then we've got the combo with cheese. And I'm gonna go with the traditional first. We're just gonna take this sandwich, and I'm not gonna try it without ducking it in the gravy. That's what you gotta do. Just give it a good dip. Set it over here. Woo. No, it's gonna be hot, but it's going down. I mean, look at that. Juice dripping. You gotta get the lean to eat it. Oh my goodness. That'll blow you away. That is so good. It's juicy, it's rich, all that beef flavor. You get the grill taste from cooking it on the big green egg in that hickory smoke. The bread holds up to it. I mean, this is a fantastic sandwich. I'm going back in. Meathead, my man, you have made one killer Chicago beef sandwich. That thing is money. I know y'all are gonna like it for your Super Bowl party this weekend. Give it a shot, get your dunking gloves on and getting that hot beef juice. It is well worth the effort. Thanks for checking us out here at How to Barbecue Right. If you like what we're doing, subscribe to our channel. You can catch us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And Shell and I have our podcast every Friday. We're going to talk about this recipe, all kinds of other delicious food, anything that's on our minds. We'll see y'all next time. You didn't think I was going to try this combo? You're crazy. I'm going to cut it in half, though. I'm at least going to be civil. I don't think I'm going to dip it. I think I'm just going to go regular. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's got the sausage, peppers, the beef. That's amazing. Cheese is melted. Wow. Uh-oh, that combo's better. I gotta get the ladle out and put a little extra juice because I didn't dip it. Probably should have dipped it. That's a wrap. Man, that is so good. That's absolutely phenomenal.